share an experience you had as an immigrant in America that you're ashamed of. So I've had this question in queue for a while now. I think that I've gotten like 50 people sending me emails and questions about my most difficult experience, the most difficult part of being an immigrant in America, being able to get your green card and stuff like that. But I'm going to share something, but I'm actually not ashamed of this. I actually lived in my car. Okay, so the odd thing is that when I lived in my car, it was already in my fifth year or sixth year here in the US. So I've actually, like, I've already garnered some, like, experience. So I've already had some experience, and I think I was already like a marketing manager for another company, not for the company that I'm working for right now, but for another company. The company before this company was already the marketing manager, and I lived in my car, and it was all because of finances. So living in LA is not cheap. Okay, it's not cheap. So I think when I started, I was getting paid like $10. It was below minimum, like $10 per hour. Now the minimum is like 15. And I think at that time it was like maybe 10 or 11. So, but I was getting paid like below the minimum. So if let's just say compute it in the current minimum, $15 per hour, that means 600 per week. And if you take out like all the deductions and taxes, you're probably gonna end up with like 420 per week. And so in a month, that's 1680 in a month, okay? 1680. Now let's assume that you're just renting a room, and it's not even your own apartment, but you're just a room in a house. So you have other people in the house. Let's assume that's like $700 in LA. And then you have your grocery. Let's assume it's like $300 in a month. You have your phone, let's assume that's $100, and then you have internet, let's assume that's 70. This is usually the lowest ones that I'm giving you. And the phone that I mentioned, that is $100, that means you bought the phone from the company. Okay, and then at that time I had school. Okay, I had school, and it was like 650 maybe, or 600 a month, maybe more. And then it was, of course, I was paying for a lawyer. This is how I began. And that's like already more than 1900, and I was getting 1600. And then of course I wanted to I was still helping my family back in the Philippines. I wanted to send them money. I wanted to help them, so I had to work 2 jobs. But then in the beginning it was hard to get 2 jobs because I didn't have any kind of experience. So the debt actually accumulated. Plus, of course, there are a lot of unexpected expenses. Like when I was processing my green card, you had to pay fees, you had to pay this and that. Other things that you don't really anticipate, but you need to do. Of course, I decided to open an investment, an IRA, an individual retirement account. So that's basically a retirement fund. So eventually when I retire, I have some money put away, and they'll just send me my monthly. So that's one. And then of course I had to pay. The company that I was working for actually didn't, in the beginning, they weren't offering health insurance, and so I had to pay for my own health insurance. I'm happy about the fact that I wasn't actually able to use that health insurance, but I had to get it because just in case I needed medical assistance or whatever, then at least it's expensive here if you don't have your own insurance. So yeah, so that really, the debt accumulated, and I got to a point. So when everything was sort of starting to become okay, I was settling down, I was getting established, I was starting to get job offers that I really liked. I still had that debt that I wanted to pay off, and so I decided I was going to take 2 jobs. I actually work for Dave's Chicken as a kitchen staff. So it was just whatever. It just helped out in the kitchen. And I did it was part-time, but still it was some extra money. And then I had some writing gigs here and there, but I just really wanted to pay all of my debts and start from zero. So I decided, okay, I needed to get rid of my rent, because that's taking like a huge chunk of my take home pay. At that time, I was done with school anymore. I wasn't paying the 600 anymore, but still, as I've said, the debt accumulated, so I had to pay them off. So for about 3 months, I was actually living in my car, and that idea came about actually because I watch a lot of van life people. I really wanted to try it anyway, and so I said, I was all set to. I said, if this works out, I was actually gonna set up my car. It's a RAV4. I was gonna set it up first to make it a little bit more permanent for me. But the number one problem for me was going to showers, because I actually shower twice a day. so and for me to be able to shower, I need to, because my car wasn't set up for van life, so I have to go to the gym, and that's where I'll shower, and it's not always convenient for me to. I like going to LA Fitness Signature, and in LA there's only one Signature, at least the one that's closest to me. Is located in Beverly Hills, and so I always have to drive there, because it's cleaner. I always have to drive there for me to take a shower. So that was the problem for me. It's just that I like taking 2 showers every day. So that was the difficult part, and so that's actually the reason I decided to go back into renting like a permanent apartment. So as soon as I paid off the debts, I went back into like renting a regular apartment, because now like I can start fresh again. So again, I'm not ashamed of it. It was actually quite fun for me. Down the road, once I save enough money, I actually want to like set up a van, a van that I can use to travel, and I can work from there and stuff. But yeah, interesting, right? But at least I find it interesting. I hope you found it interesting as well. I don't know if you learned something, but I hope you did.